Good morning, children, and Sairam. Welcome back once again. Children, as you all know, in last video we have completed economics chapter number 3, that is poverty as a challenge. Now in this video we are going to start new chapter. In this video we are going to discuss class 9th geography chapter number 4, that is natural vegetation and wildlife, and this is part first. Here are the topics we are going to discuss in this chapter. First topic is biodiversity in India. Then second topic is what is natural vegetation. Then after that we will discuss what is the meaning of the term flora and fauna. The next topic is causes of diversity of flora and fauna kingdom. What is an ecosystem? Then after that we will discuss different types of vegetation, wildlife, and last but not the least, steps taken by the government for the protection of flora and fauna kingdom. So let's start. Here is the first topic, biodiversity in India. India is a biodiverse country. Basically, our country India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world. Now, what is the meaning of mega biodiversity? Basically, mega means large. So, mega biodiversity means a large number and wide range of species present in an ecosystem. So, as India is very rich in the diversity of plants and animals, so it is called as mega diversity center. Clear? So India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world. And do you know, children, India holds 10th position in the world and 4th position in Asia. Clear? 10th position in the world and 4th position in Asia. Now, in terms of plant diversity, so it having a total of 47,000 plant species, and there are about 15,000 flowering plants in India, which account for 6% in the world's total number of flowering plants. The country has many non-flowering plants also, such as ferns, algae, and fungi. Next, India possesses approximately 89,000 species of animals. India also has 89,000 species of animals as well as a rich variety of fish in its fresh and marine water. Clear? So, as India is very rich in diversity of plants and animals, so that's why it is called as mega biodiversity center. Okay, now next is what is natural vegetation? So, what is natural vegetation? Natural vegetation, it refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid, without human interference, and has been left undisturbed by the humans for a long time. Okay, so this is termed as virgin vegetation. Clear? This is termed as virgin, or we can say that it is also called virgin vegetation. Clear? Now, plant community means not all plant community can be said virgin vegetation. The vegetation which grow naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time, known as natural vegetation or virgin vegetation. Clear? So both natural vegetation and wildlife play an important role in sustaining the ecological balance and the economy of a country. So children, this chapter helps us to understand the variety of vegetation and wildlife found in our country and its effect and importance for our country. Okay. Now, do you know, children, the virgin vegetation which are purely Indian are known as endemic or indigenous species. Okay, which are Indian are known as endemic or indigenous species. But those which have come from outside India are termed as exotic plants. Clear? So endemic or indigenous species means it refers to the species which grow within India. Clear? Endemic or indigenous species means it refers to species which grow within India. And exotic plants means it refers to species which grow outside India. Is it clear the difference between the endemic or indigenous species and exotic plants? Okay. Now just tell me, what do you understand by the word or the terms flora and fauna? So, flora means the term flora is used to denote plants of a particular region or period. Clear? Flora means the term flora is used to denote plants of a particular region or period. Next is fauna. So, the term fauna is used to denote animals of particular region or period. So, clear? Fauna or flora, it is referred to the plant species of a particular area, and fauna, it is referred to the animal species of a particular area. Now, this huge diversity in flora and fauna kingdom is due to the following factors. So, here are the next topic: causes of diversity in flora and fauna, or we can say that the factors responsible for diversity in flora and fauna kingdom. So, here are the factors responsible for the diversity in flora and fauna kingdom. So, the first factor is relief. Basically, children, the relief of a place is defined by its land and type of soil. Okay, the relief of a place is defined by its land and soil, and it is an important factors affecting the diversity of flora and fauna. Okay, now let's read about the components of relief. So the first component is land. Okay, so children, as we know that land affects the natural vegetation directly and indirectly. So do you expect the same type of vegetation in mountainous, plateaus and plain areas or in dry and wet regions? Basically, the nature of land influences the type of vegetation. In mountains, plateau and the plain, the vegetation is different, right? Like plain area is used for agriculture, as we know that. Grasslands and woodlands develop over the mountain areas and give shelter to the variety of wildlife. Clear? So the nature of land influences the type of vegetation. Clear? Next component is soil. So soil also vary over space, and as we know that different types of soils provide basis for different types of vegetation. So as will be clear from the following examples, like first of all, sandy soils. The sandy soils of the desert support cactus and thorny bushes, right? The sandy soils of the desert support cactus and thorny bushes. Same, wet, marshy and deltic soils support mangrove and mangrove vegetation. And same, the hill slopes with some depth of soil have conical trees. Clear? Okay, now the next factor is climate. The next factor responsible for diversity in flora and fauna kingdom is climate. So the climate of a place also affects the biodiversity and is defined by the temperature of that place and the amount of sunlight and also precipitation that it receives. Okay, now here are the components. So the first one is the temperature. The character and extent of vegetation are mainly determined by temperature, along with humidity in the air, precipitation, and soil. So, on the slopes of Himalayas and the hills of Peninsula above the height of 1915 meters, the fall in the temperature affects the type of vegetation, as we already learned in the previous chapter, right? The fall in the temperature affects the types of vegetation and also its growth and changes it from tropical to subtropical, temperate and alpine vegetation. So the vegetation corresponding to different temperature levels is given in the table below. So basically this table basically showing the temperature characteristics of the vegetation zones. So first is tropical vegetation zone, right? So the temperature range is above 24 degrees Celsius. Next is subtropical zone, right? And the temperature range 17 degrees Celsius to 24 degree Celsius. Then temperate zone and the temperature range is 7 degrees Celsius to 17 degree Celsius. And last is alpine and temperature range is below 7 degrees Celsius. Clear? So basically as height increase, so it also affects the type of vegetation and its growth. Next is photoperiod or sunlight. Now, what is the meaning of photoperiod? Actually, photoperiod is the duration of light which is required by a plant for flowering. It can also be called as day length. It can also be called as day length. It varies with different zones on earth and also according to seasons. Some plants require periodic exposures to light to induce flowering. Okay, so photoperiod, that means sunlight. The variation in duration of sunlight at different places is due to difference in latitude, altitude, season and duration of day. Clear? The variation in duration of sunlight at different places is due to the differences in latitude, altitude, season and duration of the day. Actually, due to longer duration of sunlight, trees grow faster in summer and the southern slopes in Himalayan region are covered with thick vegetation, as we know that, as compared to the northern slopes, because the southern slopes receive more sunlight. That's why. Okay. Now, the next component is precipitation. So basically in India, children, almost the entire rainfall is brought in by advancing monsoon, that means June to September, right? Remember, and retreating monsoon, it's retreating northeast monsoon. So areas of heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation as compared to the other areas of less rainfall. Clear? For example, areas of heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation as compared to the other areas of less rainfall. Western slopes of Western Ghats are covered with thick forest and the eastern slopes are not, because the western slopes receive higher amount of precipitation. Is it clear? Okay. Now, the next topic is importance of forest. So basically forests are important for human beings. Children, have you ever thought as to why forests are important for human beings? As we know that forests are renewable resources and play a very major role in enhancing the quality of environment. How? First, they modify local climate, right? They modify local climate. They also control soil erosion. They regulate stream flow. They also support a variety of or support various industries, right? Provide livelihood for many communities and offer scenic view for recreation. It also controls wind force and temperature and also causes rainfall. It provides humus to the soil and shelter to the wildlife. Also provides medicinal herbs. Okay, now one Mahotsav. Children, we know that celebrating the importance of trees. One Mahotsav was initiated in 1950 to celebrate the importance of growing and saving forest and to create awareness about the bad effects of deforestation, which is a great initiative. So it is observed in the first week of July each year. Okay, so this is the importance of, so as we say, so we can say that forests are very important for the human beings. Okay, do you know in 2001 the actual forest cover in India was only 20.55%, only 20.55%. Now the next topic is ecosystem. Now what is ecosystem? Basically, ecosystem is a system which includes all living organisms. That means biotic in an area as well as its physical environment, abiotic, functioning together as a unit. Okay, in simple language, ecosystem is a community of plants, animals, and smaller organisms that live, feed, reproduce, and interact in the same area or environment. Some ecosystems are very large. Okay, for example, many bird species nest in one place, okay, and feed in a completely different area. Clear? So this is ecosystem, is a community of plants, animals, and smaller organisms, right? They all interact in the same area or environment. Human being is an important part of ecosystem, right? As we know that human being is an important part of ecosystem. Now, how do the human being influence the ecology of a region? Basically, they utilize the vegetation and wildlife, and the greed of human beings leads to overutilization of these resources. Actually, they cut the trees and kill the animals, creating ecological imbalance. So as a result, some of the plants and animals have reached the verge of extinction. Now, children, do you know that a very large ecosystem on land having distinct types of vegetation and animal life is called a biome. Okay? Clear? So biome means a very large ecosystem on land having distinct types of vegetation and animal life is known as biome. Clear? So the biomes are identified on the basis of plants. Clear? The biomes are identified on the basis of plants. Okay, so that's it for this part. Next topic, that means types of vegetation, we will discuss in the next video. Okay, now it's quiz time. So the first question is, To which of the following categories does India belong according to natural vegetation and wildlife? Okay, now options are: first, a country lacking in biodiversity cover. Option B, one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world. Option C, country with the greatest forest cover. So, in which category India belongs according to the natural vegetation and wildlife? Yes, it's option B, one of the 12 mega biodiversity country of the world. Right? It holds 10th position in the world and 4th position in Asia. Okay? Now, second question, which is not included in the group of non-flowering plants? Okay, now options are orchids, algae, and option C, fungi. So, which is not included in the groups of non-flowering plant? It's orchids, right? Option A, orchid, it's not included in the group of non-flowering plants. Now, question number third. Which term is used for original plant cover of an area which has grown naturally? Okay, now options are garden, option B agriculture, and option B virgin vegetation. So, yes, option C is the correct answer. Virgin vegetation basically that grow naturally. Okay. Now, question number fourth. Which term is used for virgin vegetation which is purely Indian origin? Or we can say that the species grown within India. Options are normal species, endemic species, and option C, exotic species. So, yes, option B is endemic species. Basically, endemic species, it's referred to the species which grow within India, and exotic means species which grow outside India. Okay. Now, the next question is, which term is used to denote animal species of a particular region or a period? Now, options are flora, fauna, and fauns. So, for animal species, which term is used? Yes, option B is fauna. So, fauna is a term used to denote animal species of a particular region or period. So, that's it for today. Have a nice day and thank you.